everybody! Welcome to a special episode of Top 5 A through Z. I am Jason Soto. I am joined with Bill Zaney. Hello, Bill.
Hey, I'm the reason that we're 16 minutes late, everybody, so sorry about that.
You know what I've noticed about Twitch streamers is they're never on time. So, if anything, that makes us an authentic Twitch stream. We got Pete. Hello, Pete.
What's up, y'all?
And we got Rob. What's up, Rob?
How are you?
So, to everyone listening in the audio form of this show, we are streaming live on Twitch. Yes, we are on Twitch, twitch.tv/rabbitholepods. You can go there and you could follow. And anytime any of us, any of the shows on the Rabbit Hole Podcast Network decides to stream live, you will get a notification. We also, get together and we play some games. We play some Jackbox games, probably some Among Us. There might be some other stuff coming down the pipeline. But I just kind of randomly thought today, I feel like doing a live stream. I feel like being live, and I want people to see what the madness is as we're recording a show.
As opposed to what? Being dead?
Yes. And so...
thought we should be alive today.
So yeah, I said live, not alive. Today. I said live. So we are going to be streaming this episode today. We are doing the letter T. We are going to be doing our top 5 favorite movies that begin with the letter T. But before we get to our lists, I want to talk about an app. It's called Grindr, and this is how I met these 3 people on here. And I was on there and I said, hey, I'm looking for a podcast host. And they're like, let's go meet at a truck stop. And I was like, why a truck stop? What does that got to do with podcasting? And they're like, podcast? Oh, yeah.
I was told
no. I want to talk about Run P. It is an app. It's free to download. It's free to download on Android and iOS. And it's for when you go to movie theaters and you're watching a movie in the movie theater and you really have to go to the bathroom, but you don't want to miss anything important. So you bring up the app. The app tells you, hey, during this part of the movie is a good time to go to the bathroom because nothing important is happening. And then you can go. The app tells you what is happening so you don't miss, you're not out of the loop. It's very useful. I've made everybody on Rabbit Hole Podcast download it and use it. And I forced them. I go to their houses with a gun and I say, you're going to fucking download this app right fucking now.
That's not a gun.
And, it costs a lot in gas. It cost a lot in gas and Uber fees, but it was well worth it. So, anyway.
Wait, what? You said podcasting? When we hooked up, you said pole casting. I'm out.
Well, Rob was supposed to be shirtless, but that didn't come. That didn't happen yet. But I don't know. We got about 2 hours, so let's see what happens.
Nobody wants to see this. Yeah. Nobody wants to see this without a shirt.
So anyway, Run P. We're really gonna lose this sponsorship. Run P. Run P is an app. It's free to download. Please go check it out. And second thing I want to mention is rabbitholepodcast.com. That is the home of Top 5 A through Z, this very show that you are listening/watching right now. And there's all kinds of awesome shows for you to check out there over at Rabbit Hole Podcast. There's going to be a new one coming in February featuring our pal Rob right there. He's going to be doing more podcasts than me at this point. He's going to be doing a show with our friend Bubba Wheat called Lyrical Innuendo, where they're going to take a song and then discuss if the song is sexual or not. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing that because
we got a nice.
I've seen the list of songs that they're going to talk about, and it's going to be a good show. I can't wait for it. So they'll come out in February, and you can check that out over at rabbitholepodcast.com.
You know, what's really funny about that, Jason, is I was actually talking with Nick and a couple others, and apparently I am the best person for podcasts like this because I don't know shit.
Exactly. No, wait, that's not what I meant to say.
Yeah, they're like, we were talking about Infoblast, which I'm also on, and everybody's saying me and Nick have great chemistry, and somebody was like, yeah, Rob's great for this. He doesn't know a damn thing. I'm like,
he doesn't know shit. The fuck does he know? No. It's
and we were talking. I can't remember what song we were talking about, and I was like, it's from a Batman movie.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
That's not a sexually innuendo. And everybody's like, have you not looked at the lyrics? I'm like,
it is very much.
I don't want to remember that movie.
Well, I'm sure that'll be an episode of that show, so we won't say what it is. But no, Rob, what it is you add a lot of humor, and so we got to have a serious person talk serious, and then we got to have you bring the humor. So
reason number 6,345 as to why I'm still single.
But women like funny people, so I don't know what you're talking about. Reason. Okay.
Is it the na Batman part?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually the fifth na that makes it really sexual. If they would have stopped at the fourth, it would have been fine. But that fifth one is what just pushes over the edge. Parents were mad in the 60s.
Ooh,
yeah, they were like, they boycotted the show. They were throwing tomatoes at Adam West. It was a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
I was thinking about Prince's electric chair for Batman stuff.
It was a whole thing
with some stuff. Yeah.
All right.
That was my first thought too, but then I was like, if you really think about it, na Batman.
You slow it down a little, make it a striptease.
It's all on the delivery.
I could have went like this. Nah.
I now have a new goal in life. I'm gonna pay a stripper to do a striptease to the Batman theme song from the 60s.
That's a great birthday gift for you.
We're gonna make that happen, and we're gonna film it. Gonna film it, and I'm gonna put it up on the YouTube channel. Or I might have to make a Pornhub channel just to show that. Maybe I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay, let's get to this. Let's get to the show. We're getting way off topic here.
My nickname used to be Pickle Porno Penguin Peep.
Possibly the earliest ever.
You know what? I think it's because we're all jittery because we're live on Twitch. That might have something to do with it. Okay, so we are doing our top 5 favorite movies that begin with the letter T. I do kind of want to talk about this for just a minute. Let's not take too long on this. Me and Bill had some controversy about this. I want to say we settled it. We're cool.
Are we really bringing this up?
Just because it's fun to talk about. It's fun.
Okay.
No, I only just want to bring it up, and we can drop it after I bring it up. We don't even have to keep going on it. So we had a discussion about whether or not the word "the" should count for T's, like The Matrix, if that should be in the T's. And we've all agreed, and Bill had to be forced to agree to this, that no, that was not going to be the case. Only because the word "the" is in front of like 20,000 movies, and that would have been like impossible. And also because of like the English language. The English language don't consider "the" as a word because it's a prefix. Kind of like, okay.
Well, for some movies it does. Like, okay, for example, like if you choose the letter A, like A Bug's Life.
See,
like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix Reloaded. You know, Matrix Revolution. It's like not the Matrix Revolution. I agree with you, Jason, with the idea that.
My example was going to be like we're all technically Misters. Our first, it's Mr. Jason Sotos, but my first name doesn't begin with an M. So
speak for yourself, sassy pants.
So I don't know. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. We don't have to continue belabor the point. I just want to throw that out there that we had that discussion.
Since we threw it out there, can I throw out my point of where I was coming from with
absolutely.
it? Okay. Okay, I agree. It was unanimous. I lost that. I get it. I get that this prefix and the English language and all that stuff. But I've never ever gone by that myself. As far as like you know how Jason knows how I get when I've always alphabetized and organized movies and CDs a certain way and stuff. But I never followed the rule. Like I'll put the Beatles under T, the Beatles. Where anyone else is gonna put them under B, you know, ignore the. So it's just my own idiosyncrasy of, I guess. I don't know.
Back in the day, when I used to work for Blockbuster Video, it was always, yeah.
Someone brought the Beatles up in the chat room, and that was why I used that example, probably. But...
God, what was that one movie that just came out? It was about the Beatles.
Oh, Get Back.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Well, okay, both Pete and me are technically right, so I don't know which one you were saying yes to.
Wait, what? I heard you. What did you say, Pete?
Yesterday. That's the one.
Okay.
Where nobody remembered the Beatles.
Okay.
And Get Back was a documentary. I haven't yet seen that, but Yesterday was an amazing film. It was beautiful. It made me cry.
I still need to see it.
Actually, I haven't seen it myself, honestly.
I haven't seen it, but I know about it. That's one.
I have until we get to the Y's to see it to figure out if I want to add that to my list or not. But so anyway, I just kind of wanted to bring up that for, you know, if anyone out there might be on Bill's side, and there might be people who might be.
Well,
and I just kind of wanted to mention we are not going to be following that rule. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's all.
I was just thinking though, there is a example where I would get in my own, like, I would kind of fight with myself as I'm putting the CDs away. Because Offspring, sometimes they put just Offspring.
Right.
In other CDs, it says The Offspring.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Because I think technically the band, like, it's The Offspring, but it's the same thing, is they cut off the prefix of the. And so, like, in, like, record stores, they would put Offspring, comma, the, when they put it out, you know, wherever.
Those guys are usually
on the actual
high,
artwork.
So, I mean, what's the matter?
Huh?
Nothing.
Like nothing. I heard something.
Damn it, Rob.
All right. Well, anyway. Okay. I just wanted to bring that up. Sorry, I didn't mean to, you know, I'm not trying to make a big deal about it. I just wanted to, in case anyone was curious.
No, but like on the actual artwork, Offspring, they like went back and forth with it. Whereas the Beatles is always the Beatles.
Yeah, I do remember seeing some albums where it's like Offspring or The Offspring. We'll just say that The Offspring
I know
are
it's
bipolar.
stupid, but stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that's all good.
As adamant as you are about I'm as adamant about the organizing the stuff and whatever.
So,
if that makes
with
sense.
that said, let's go ahead and get to our list. I didn't assign order. I forgot to do that before the show. So, Rob, sometimes you're wishy-washy about wanting to go first. How are you feeling today? Do you want to go first or do you not want to go first?
My vodka's half empty. I'll go
All
first.
right, so we're going to have Rob go first, then Pete, then me, and then Bill. So,
jeez.
Well,
let the fat funny guy go first.
Well, that would be me, so I'm not going first. So
I was gonna say that's me.
So
that's how Pete was the only one who didn't say anything.
The fat funny.
Pete remained silent the entire time.
Well,
like,
Pete doesn't consider himself fat, so
I'm chunky.
So, with that said, all right, Rob, what is your number 5? Let's get going. Let's do this. 5. I like it. Let's do it.
My number 5 was back in 1981. Was directed by Terry Gilliam, one of the Monty Pythons. It was also written by Terry Gilliam and written by Michael Palin. So it's I'm going to name a couple of people here. We got Sean Connery. We got Shelley Duvall. We've got John Cleese. David Rappaport and Craig Warnock was in, and that's the only movie he's been in. My number 5 is Time Bandits.
I had to take this off the list because I limited myself to only 2 time travel movies.
But here's the thing: I remember this, but I never really considered it a time travel movie because it was kind of like a history / time travel / fantasy built into the mind of a little child named Kevin. He's 11 years old, and he goes through all these amazing adventures with these group of dwarves. And yes, they are dwarves. I'm not going to say little people because that's what they were called. They were called in the movie. And so they skip from time era to time era, and the bandits are basically like, how do I want to describe them? Interdimensional time thieves. So they steal something from the Supreme Being. And Kevin, he's a part of this, and it's one of those it's Terry Gilliam first off, so you got to wonder how much LSD was put into this movie. And you really wonder where the ending is, because you kind of wonder, it's like, okay, there is an ending to this film, it's right there, but did he do that because he had this much more to go, or what? So it was budgeted for about an estimate of $5 million, and it grossed about $42 million worldwide. So it made its money back. A couple interesting notes about this: all the bandits, all the dwarves that were in this movie, also appeared in Star Wars Episode 6: Return of the Jedi. They were Ewoks. That's the only role they could play. Nice. It was the 10th most popular film in 1981. And according to Gilliam, Rappaport, the dwarf, thought he got this role because of his stature. Before this, he did a lot of movies. And for an individual of his size, he was kind of one of those individuals that was known in the acting industry for being, a dwarf and being well-known and an amazing actor. And it really wasn't that. So there's that one scene where it's the scene during the invisible barrier, where all the other pirates were just pissed off at him and started taking their frustrations out on him. They were really doing it. They were really beating the shit out of him and getting pissed off at him because he wouldn't socialize with any one of them, during the filming, during downtime. He thought he was this high and mighty, and everybody's like, God, he's a fucking dick. What a prick. And they were like, yeah, that's the best time to kick his ass.
Wow.
All right.
And another ironic thing, actually it wasn't ironic, but Gilliam had written that he wanted dwarfs to be in this movie because it was one of his memories growing up in the San Fernando Valley. When the circus would come into town, he always enjoyed the circus. And the most notable thing about the circus was the dwarves that were in there. He thought if they could do that, they could do anything. So he made sure that he had his thieves be dwarves. So yeah, that's my number 5 is Time Bandits.
I really do enjoy this movie. I remember watching it as a kid, and it kind of freaking me out a little bit. But then I gave it
confused the shit out of you. Yeah, you were like,
and then but once I got older, I watched it. I was like, oh, this is actually a good movie. I really like it, and it's.
The fact that Sean Connery was in there,
the ending is dark as all hell. I mean,
it is.
That's the part that confused me was the ending. I guess we could say spoiler alert. The parents blow up because there was a rock in the microwave, and then Sean Connery shows up as a fireman, and then it just ends, and then it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
Funny thing you should mention that Sean Connery asked to be in the ending to be a fireman. He's like. He thought that it would be a nice tie into the beginning of the movie and throughout the movie to be the fireman. So it was kind of Warnick's way of securing fantasy and reality together.
I see. All right.
So yeah, it was an amazing
good
film.
Pick. I like it. Pete, number 5.
Cock and balls. Oh, sorry. You're probably going, what? You're like, that's it. Pete's off the show. He just said that.
A little bit.
But what's the most embarrassing thing you think can happen? Zipping up your cock and balls. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know where I'm going with
this. It's Franken beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get the beans above the Frank?
No, I know. I'm talking
Franks
about
and beans.
There's something about Mary. Here's my number 5. I almost said number one. I don't know why.
Oh.
But if you have your number one caught in the zipper, yeah, that's what you'd be saying. But
you can't put the beans over the frame.
I can beans.
So in 1985, young Ben Stiller was in high school and stuff, and everything, getting ready to have his date with the beautiful Cameron Diaz's character, Mary Johnson, and he decides to go to the bathroom. Well, you pretty much know what happens there because I just revealed that spoiler. He kind of zips up his balls inside his pants. Yep. So the date ends up getting canceled, of course, and he loses track of Cameron Diaz's character Mary. So you go 13 years later, and he's 29-year-old, and he decides to try to get back in touch with Mary. And the private investigator he hires, not Bob Dylan. I almost said Bob Dylan.
Wow, that would be an amazing movie. I would watch the fuck out of that.
I was gonna say Matt Dillon.
Yeah, I almost found him. He's in Florida.
I could see if Jim Jarmusch directed it. Bob Dylan being.
It's Mary, man. Sorry. But so he hires Matt Dillon's private eye character to try to find Mary, and Matt Dillon gets infatuated with Mary. So he says, "Well, she's fat, she's married, and has 4 kids, wives and stuff, and everything, and all that." And as the movie progresses, you get 2 other guys that's infatuated with Mary, and one he plays like he's a cripple and stuff. I think he's really not crippled, which is fucking funny as hell.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then you even get Brett Favre up in that bitch. So but one of the famous scenes too was with the hair, with the jacking off scene and her using the hair gel. But anyway,
hair gel.
One thing I thought was cool too is usually she's in the horror films and she plays a really hilarious character in here. That Lynn Shay's in here in the movie. She play. Look at my notes here, and I've noticed that, and I was like, oh yeah, she is in that movie. She plays Magda. And Lynn Shay, if you don't know who I'm talking about, was inside like a bunch of horror films. Her most recent one was Insidious. She was in that one. I mean, like the recent series, but it's just funny to see her in that movie. Like, I forgot that she was in that movie.
Wasn't she the one in Kingpin too? His landlord?
Yeah. So you even have Sarah Silverman in this, which is funny. Yeah, a bunch of good people in this one. It's classic. It's funny as hell. I'm going to keep it at that. But that is my number 5. There's something about Mary.
Yeah, nice. This is a fun movie. Absolutely.
Lynn Shay. Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about now.
She was in she had a bit part in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think it was.
She was in the first one too.
Maybe it was the first one. One of them, because her brother produced the movie, so they threw her into it as like a cameo. But then she ended up getting like an acting career herself. So yeah, that's cool.
She was in New Nightmare.
She's in a lot of shit.
Wow.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. She's in. Yeah.
I just knew her from the Farrelly Brothers.
Insidious. She's really good in Insidious. Like, one of my favorite roles of hers was in Insidious, which we cover over at Between the Scares, which can be found at rabbithholepodcast.com. All right. My number 5 is gonna be a tie. I was telling these guys before the stream that I had a difficult time with this letter because I could have just made it all time travel movies, but I wanted to limit myself to 2, and so with that said, the time travel movies are not in my number 5 spot, but that did open up a little bit more things here. So my number 5 is going to be 2 movies that are kind of not well known, which is very sad. They're very underrated. I don't hear anyone talk about either of these. and I'm gonna be curious if anyone here has seen either of these. It's a movie. Now you're gonna be like, "That's a band. I've never heard of a movie called that."
Don't say Tenacious D.
No. It is They Might Be Giants. And the second movie is called The Trouble with Harry. You guys heard of either of these movies?
I think I've heard of The Trouble with Harry. Oh God, I gotta look that up.
All right, well, let me do They Might Be Giants first, because that's probably the one that's most.
I know the group that might be.
So
Giants,
okay, so this is a movie. It's from the '70s, and it stars George C. Scott. I couldn't think of his name for a minute.
Hitchcock film.
So George C. Scott, he plays this guy who was a judge, and he goes crazy, and he thinks he's Sherlock Holmes. And the movie takes place in the modern time, which is sometime in like 76, 78. And he gets paired up with a caseworker who just so happened to be named Dr. Watson. And so he brings her into his madness, and she starts being convinced that he actually might be Sherlock Holmes. And so they go on this grand adventure all throughout New York City. Has Sherlock, quote unquote, is looking for Professor Moriarty, and he like goes to different parts in New York and thinks, oh, that's a clue. Like someone just threw out like a paper bag full of trash, and he's like, that's a clue. There's a grocery store on this bag. We got to go to this grocery store and go see if Moriarty's there. So they go to this grocery store, and it just kind of spirals along like that until the movie ends. And then Dr. Watson, who's a woman, I don't know if I said that or not, but she is fully like now convinced that this is Sherlock Holmes, and they both kind of go crazy together, and then the movie ends. But even though I told the ending, I still highly recommend seeing it. It's a very vastly underrated movie. It's a great adventure. It's a lot of fun. I don't know why no one talks about this.
They go nuts together. It's an awesome
exactly.
movie.
It's a lot of fun. And George C. Scott does a great job as Sherlock Holmes.
That's a great actor too. Really great actor.
And I can't highly recommend this movie enough. So that's They Might Be Giants, and I'm 99% sure that's where the band got their name from, was from that movie. So there you go. Now The Trouble with Harry, as Rob just said, it's a Hitchcock movie.
Technically, you can't use that because it starts with the.
But then it says trouble. So I got you.
Damn it.
I knew somebody was going to say something about that, so I was ready. But
the unspoken rule is you go with the third word when it is does at the beginning. So it's W.
Okay. Damn it, Bill got me. Fuck.
Yeah, you got to put that in the W section.
All right, seriously. So Trouble with Harry, it's actually one of the rare comedies that Hitchcock made. He didn't make a lot of comedies,
right.
During his 10 years as director. This is one of the few, and it's a dark comedy because it's about this dead body of a guy named Harry who just shows up. He starts the movie dead, and a movie character finds his dead body, and then soon everybody in this small town gets involved and starts like hiding the body, or they move it, or they think, like, oh no, my husband killed this guy, so I gotta hide the body to protect him. And then someone else finds it, and they're like, oh my god, there's a dead body, it's gonna ruin the town's reputation, we gotta move it. So it just leads to a lot of misunderstanding, like almost Three's Company style misunderstandings just kind of snowball.
Three's Company with the chords.
Yeah, and it really is funny. It's actually a legitimately funny movie. It's a dark comedy directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and it's wonderful. And I don't know again why no one talks about this movie. It's fantastic. I highly recommend this to anyone. If you're a fan of Alfred Hitchcock, you should check this out, because if you can picture Alfred Hitchcock doing a comedy, that's most likely. That's gonna be The Trouble with Harry. That's exactly what you're gonna get. So anyway, my number 5 is a tie between They Might Be Giants and The Trouble with Harry. 2 very, very vastly underrated movies.
It's funny you speak of that. My friend Ray is a huge Hitchcock fan, and he's seen all the films. He's never once mentioned that.
Yeah, maybe you should tell him about it. See if he's even heard of it.
He probably has. It's like it. The way you described it, it was like a pre-dark Weekend at Bernie's.
A little bit. Yeah. It is a little bit. I mean, just it's not like
we gotta hide this body.
They don't do the thing where they move the body around like animated or anything, but it's them moving around a dead body trying to either hide it, get rid of it, or I think even someone's trying to figure out who it is. They just know his name's Harry because of a driver's license, and that's it. And they don't know how he got killed. I don't remember. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but I don't remember if they've ever established how he gets killed. But yeah, it's just them just trying 50s, to, right? Yeah, like maybe late 40s, because it has Shirley MacLaine in it, and it's got Jerry Mathers in it, like a child. Jerry Mathers in it. So whenever he was a kid, he's in it. So yeah, check it out. Go look it up, or if you ever come by my house, we'll pop it in because I will gladly watch this anytime. So you three got to come to my house. We're gonna have a movie night.
It's kind of hard for Pete.
Why?
Pete's in Chicago.
He lives near Bill.
Okay, Pete and Bill, you guys gotta take the train down to Indy.
He's at the end of Chicago.
It's not like Pete and Bill live like opposite sides of the country. They live like, I don't know, 20 minutes apart? Yeah. Dad. All right, Bill, go. What's your number?
Yeah, but
I'm like right at the borderline.
So,
sorry.
Anyway, Bill, what's your number 5?
Well, my number 5 is something that I'm pretty sure I can guarantee all 4 of us were very into back in 1990.
Drugs.
When the movie came out.
I was pretty sure. But okay, drugs, yeah.
Huh?
What?
He's like drugs.
Jason said drugs. I was like, no, I was gonna say porn.
Jason.
Drugs, yeah.
You don't know what I did when I was 10.
Jeez.
I was the only child and I was home alone a lot, so you don't know what I was up to.
Actually, that does kind of factor into this movie. Because the evil organization known as the Foot is very into bad things like that.
Okay.
Now,
and
What?
I'm talking about the 1990 feature film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, I'm talking about Heroes in a Half Shell,
Yes.
people. Baby.
turtle power.
Like baby. No, I say.
Yes, I'm talking about those red, tubular, cowabunga-like dudes. I sound so hip right now. That
And one is voice.
I totally
Yeah.
thought you were like a 12-year-old, Bill. Totally, you fooled me. I thought you were a kid for a second there. I was about to say, how the hell did a kid get on this call? What the hell?
I know, I'm so rad.
Oh, you did it again. I thought I was getting ready to kick you out. Stop doing that.
I'm so up on
Stop
the
doing
times that
Hey, cowabunga, man.
cowabunga dude don't have a
How are all these kids getting on this call? Man.
Yeah.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
The kid's got 30 seconds. Hey, let's all call for a pizza.
Yes, that is one of the great things about the Turtles. They love pizza, and so do we, I imagine. I'm speaking for all 4 of us,
We
but I know
do.
I do.
I do.
I love mine with
I
barbecue sauce.
think for
and
sure
pineapples.
all of us here like pizza.
See, we're all like spirit. The turtles are our spirit animals.
Yeah. And we are 4. We are 4.
There's
I'm
4 of
Michelangelo.
us, and
I'm
we
always
love pizza.
Michelangelo. I called it.
And we all live in a sewer At least I. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm the only one.
That's what this place is.
Well, I live in the basement too, so so it's almost like a store. Yeah.
And I have a life-size, giant, people-sized rat that has trained me in life and in martial arts, as we all have, right?
Bob. No,
What?
I'm just joking. He knows what I'm talking about. Is it Bob? No, I'm sorry. That'd be funny.
No.
That was a joke. Like, yeah. Billy, what about those turtles, Billy? Oh, sorry.
Well, he did train me in martial arts, but
That is true. I was there for that.
yes. And that is when I created my alter ego, Backsports Bill.
Inside jokes are not funny to the people outside this show.
I'm even confused.
And I may be a bit pretentious for saying this, but I don't care.
No, I wasn't doing it as a criticism. I was just, yeah, no, I wasn't criticizing. I find it funniest too.
There goes all our
All three.
Damn it.
the ones that were remaining.
No, I was not criticizing. I'm sorry if I came off that way.
No, I'm just saying. But yeah, the Turtles is like the hugest like thing of that era next to Ghostbusters.
That is true.
What else? Star Wars, Karate Kid. Well, Star Wars.
There was like in the like going towards like the middle '90s. It was when Power Rangers came out. It was like you're either Ninja Turtles or you're Power Rangers.
They did a crossover, actually.
They did eventually, yeah. But I was always Ninja Turtles, man. I was there for them.
See, I think I kind of, once the Power Rangers, well, I was probably still watching Turtles at that time, yeah. But
my favorite crossover with the Turtles was with Batman.
Ooh.
I have that. I believe.
That was pretty
I have that
dark.
comic.
Yeah, I'm saying the comic right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that.
Great.
That was an awesome comic. There needs to be an actual movie.
I would watch the
they
fuck
did the
out of that.
animated one.
Did they do an animated one?
Oh shit! I gotta add that. I gotta see that shit. That's gotta be amazing.
It wasn't great, but it was alright.
I did not realize.
That's gotta be amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of funny because Michelangelo does a lot of his jokes the entire time. Batman's just looking at him like, "Shut up."
Yeah. And he ends up eating pizza with them at one point. So he's not down for it at first. Though he's like, no pizza. And next thing you know, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna have me some pizza. All right, go on, Bill, man. Tell him, because that movie is good for.
Well, yeah, now I gotta go watch that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah, what I liked about the Turtles too was it was. See, a lot of people older than us didn't realize because they just figured it was a kids movie, so they probably didn't even bother to watch and really pay attention. But I'm assuming that's probably a stereotype, but because I'm thinking like a lot of people probably didn't realize how deep that movie was. You know, it's about turtles that did martial arts and talk and were teenagers. It's still like when Raphael got hurt.
Oh yeah.
That's some
sad
stuff,
it got really dark. It was more the movie. People were surprised at how dark the movie was because they were so used to the cartoon, which was very light and bright and kind of humorous with all of them making jokes and stuff. Then you go see the live action movie, and then Raphael said damn and ass and all these cuss words, and he gets Leonardo gets in a coma for 2 days or some shit or something it was very dark and people were not expecting that.
We did have some dark movies in the 80s. How different was the Masters of the Universe movie too from the cartoon?
Yeah,
but the
Skeletor looked like something out of a Sam Raimi
movie. But tone wise, it was still pretty goofy. The live action movie. really, if you think about it. But
they had to make it. They had to make it lighthearted because they were trying to not go for an R-rated film. You know.
So
talking about R-rated turtles, you see how Seth Rogen is doing pretty much a high version of the Turtles.
I did not hear about this.
Look it up. They're doing a reboot again of Ninja Turtles, and Seth Rogen's behind it.
Oh, I did not know that. I don't know how I feel about that. I gotta look that up.
Wait, so he's like observing it being made?
It's being. It's,
right. He's
now
behind
you see why they eat a lot of pizza. Wait. I'm only kidding, but you see now why they eat a lot of pizza because they're probably stoned.
I wouldn't mind a stoner take on Ninja Turtles. That'd be interesting.
I guess he's kind of going with like the whole theory how Shaggy and Scooby were always stoners. He's figuring the Turtles were probably too.
So, all right. Anything else, Bill?
No. But I think anyone who hasn't seen that should definitely check it out. And the cartoon, as you mentioned, and the movie Pete mentioned and the comic.
Okay.
The movie's called Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, I am going to be adding that to my library wish list pretty soon. So
it's got my favorite voice actress, Tara Strong.
Yeah.
I'm in shock it took this long, but I have to go for a minute.
Well, just in time for Rob.
So you guys just continue.
For Rob to do his number 4.
Well, I'm going to do my number 4, and Bill's going to do his number 2.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. The vodka's kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4. It was directed and written by Ron Clements and John Musker. Actually, it was written and directed by Ron Clements, and it's I was right. It's written and directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. It's based off of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Planet. I just messed it up. Treasure Island. It's the movie Treasure Planet. I forgot to put the date down in there. So it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emma Thompson, Martin Short, and David Hyde Pierce, which we all know a lot of those names. If people are not familiar with David Hyde Pierce, it's like one of the most unknown names of the film. He was in Frasier.
He was Niles.
Niles, exactly. So this is kind of a science fiction take on Treasure Island. It's got Jim Hawkins, who was voiced by Joseph. He's kind of a rebellious teen, and he wants to take on the world, and he's kind of a slacker sometimes. But he gets his hands on this legendary map to the Treasure Planet, and then he partakes on an amazing journey. When it was created, and this, I can't be mad at this because this movie suffered a lot. When it was created, it was budgeted and estimated $140 million, but it only grossed $110 million worldwide. And like I said, I can't be mad at it because this movie was 10 years making. It took Disney 10 years to make this film. It was started shortly after Disney created Hercules, and after that popped off. And it was the longest production cycle of Disney's post-Renaissance era. And when they made the movie, it went through so much of a production hell cycle. There were just so many problems with it. A lot of the human characters were hand drawn. John Silver, who was a cyborg in the movie, his animatronic arm was 3D animated. His arm, his leg, and his eye, and the character Ben were all 3D animated. And there were scenes where all three parts of that, John Silver, Jim Hawkins, Ben, all the characters were together. So to mix all that together, both hand-drawn animation and 3D animation, at the time when Treasure Planet was created, was just an absolute nightmare, A couple other fun facts. The ship that they took on the journey was called the RLS Legacy, which was short for Robert Louis Stevenson. So there's a nice little, nod to the creator. Couple other fun facts. If there's that scene where Jim's mother is sitting on the bed reading to him, when he's very young, when the father leaves, she's sitting there reading to him. And if you look on the bookshelf, Disney does one of its little Easter eggs, and there's a little Stitch sitting there. It's one of Disney is notoriously known for putting characters of other films into their movies, kind of like an Easter egg to search and find, And finally, the last note I have on this, which I found just absolutely fascinating, was if you look at the character Jim himself, he was kind of seen as a James Dean of the future. So in the beginning of the movie, his clothes are very dark. He's got the dark jeans and the black shirt. And as the movie progresses, as he becomes more mature, his clothes come from a dark to a more lighter color. It's in the end of the movie where he's in his naval outfit. He's in all white to kind of show that he has progressed and matured from a young child to an adult. So that to me, I love this movie. I love Treasure Planet. I love Treasure Island. I love the Disney version of Treasure Island. It's been one of my all-time favorite stories growing up as a child. I didn't really think about the clothing issue at the time because of how animated it was and how much they took Treasure Planet, which is kind of a dull movie. The live action is a dull movie. The Treasure Island of the Muppets Treasure Island was kind of funny because it had Tim Curry in it. But when they made this movie, it completely blew my mind, And so I didn't think about the clothing until the end. I looked on IMDb and I started researching it and I started thinking about things about the movie, and I was like, that's kind of it's a really amazing thing that a lot of people don't think about. So there it is. My number four is Treasure Planet.
All right,
that was a good choice.
Yeah. I've not seen it, but I've heard really good things.
You get the hell out right now. Go.
Wow.
Go.
Good.
I'm taking over.
You have to come to my house to do that. So.
Be there in 20 minutes.
All right, I'll see you. All right, Pete.
How do you not see Treasure Planet?
I just haven't gotten around to it.
If you like,
sorry.
It was. If I'm correct, it was a remake, anyways. But if you like remakes, if you like really good ghost stories and stuff, everything, this is a really good one here for you. Way back, I gotta get my notes out here because I don't have the year on me right now. In 2001, we got 13 Ghosts, and that is my number 4. It's 13 Ghosts.
I was about to put that on my list.
Tony Shalhoub, which is from Monk, he's the main guy in there, stuff and everything. You didn't know I had to. I just want to throw that out real quick. Plus, another random fact before I even get to the story about that. A rapper that was well known back then, Rod Digger, was in there also. So, but basically, it's about. Hold on, I got my notes all screwed up here. It's live, everybody. Thank you. Usually, I have my notes ready when I'm doing this. But
get your shit together, Pete. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Wikipedia way too, real quick. You ready? Ghost hunters Cyrus Kritikos and his psychic assistant Dennis Rapkin, Matthew Lillard, everybody, from Scream, lead a team on a mission to capture a spirit called the Juggernaut. Several men, including Cyrus, are killed while the team is able to catch the ghost. Cyrus's nephew, Arthur, a widower, is informed by Cyrus's estate lawyer, Ben Moss, that he has inherited Cyrus's mansion. Financially insecure, Arthur decides to move there with his 2 children, Kathy and Bobby. Damn it, Bobby. Anyway, and their nanny, Maggie. Dennis meets the family as they tour the mansion. The residence is made entirely of glass sheets inscribed with Latin phrases, which Dennis recognizes as barrier spells. He discovers that the 12 angry ghosts he and Cyrus captured are imprisoned in the house, held captively by the spells. As he warns Arthur, Moss unwittingly triggers a mechanism that seals the house and unwittingly triggers. I'm repeating myself. Sorry. Again, live. Unwittingly releases the ghost. He dies when a set of sliding doors cut him in half. All right, so basically, I'm gonna keep the rest there to itself. It's a badass fucking film.
I remember that scene.
Yeah, it's a badass film. The ghosts are fucking awesome. One of them happens to be the guy's dead wife too, by the way, which I forgot to mention. Shannon Elizabeth is in there also. Oh God. Shannon Elizabeth.
Yep.
But anyways, it's a really great movie. The effects are awesome. The ghosts look fucking great. I got my notes here again. I'm gonna start saying the ghost names. You got Billy Michaels, the firstborn son. You got Jimmy the Gambler Gambino, which was called the Torso. You got Susan LeGros, the bound woman. You got Jean Criticos, which I was saying about the wife, is the withered lover. You got Race Clayton, the torn prince. You got Dana Newman, the angry princess. You got Isabella Smith, the Primus. You got Harold Shelburne, the great child. You got Margaret Shelburne, the dire mother. You got George Markley, the hammer. You got Ryan Kuhn, the jackal. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you got Horace Breaker Mahoney as the juggernaut. I mean, those are not the actors' names. That's the characters right there. They have different actors in there. But the fucking ghost, man. The FX in that movie was great. So I got to repeat that. There's so much great shit about that. Just like, you can't. It reminded me a lot of House on Haunted Hill. But they're just awesome.
Have you ever watched the behind the scenes, the extras on the DVD?
I haven't seen that in years. I remember watching it once.
It's amazing because there's an audio commentary on all the ghosts by Cyrus, and the Torn Prince was my favorite. The ending was, the bitch broke my heart, so I broke her neck. And it was spot on for that character. And I'm like, damn, that was amazing.
But like I said, one of them became really famous too. I can't remember which one that was. One of them that played the ghost. I can't remember who.
It was the Juggernaut. He's done a lot of film. He's done a lot of stuff after that fact.
Yeah.
Because the one chick, the one ghost that was, I can't remember which one it was.
Naked chick.
Ghost, yeah, that cut herself. She was a model at the time.
Yeah.
But the Juggernaut went on to do a lot of movies after the fact because of his height. He was so tall, and he played a lot of roles that were like scary and demanding at the time.
They had a really good cast though too. Like besides,
an amazing cast.
Yeah. This is a good movie. I really like this one as well. Absolutely. Yeah,
it's a great choice. That's one of my all-time horror films of all time. You know.
Alrighty.
Have you guys seen the original?
I don't think I have actually. I don't think
that was. I think
it was Vincent Price, but I've not seen it.
From the '60s, I believe.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it.
It's sad because I'm a Vincent Price fan. I love his
he's
movies,
good.
You know.
But no, I haven't gotten around to it.
It's been on Svengoolie before a few times, I believe.
All right, now I got to run off, so I'll be back.
We're all going to take turns. Right. Okay. All right, my number 4 is a movie. It's a mystery. It's a whodunit based on a novel by Agatha Christie, and it is 10 Little Indians. Now, I'm going to point out the 1965 version because this got remade like 5 or 6 times. There's like a billion versions of this. It's crazy. But the version that I've seen growing up and that I enjoy and that I own is from 1965. And it's got Fabian, who was like a singer back in the 60s. He was a famous singer, famous actor. Christopher Lee has a uncredited voice role in this movie. And a few other people that I'm not super familiar with, but that doesn't matter. So it's a whodunit. It's a mystery, and it's sort of if you know the cliche mystery of a group of people goes to a mansion, and then one by one they get murdered, and then they got to figure out who's doing it. This is basically this movie. This was like one of the first like novels to do that. And it's Agatha Christie, so it was a mystery. But the thing about it is that each prior to everyone getting killed, they noticed a little poem, and I'm trying to find it. And the poem would coincidentally match up to all of the murders. So I'm trying to find it. But it would be like, 10 little Indians, and then there would be something about like a cliff or something, and then someone would die by falling off a cliff, and then there were 9 little Indians, and then they would get shot or like something like that. It went a lot more better than what I'm trying to do. I can't find it for some reason, but excuse me. But anyway, it's in the book, and there it is. Okay, so it's 10 little Indians went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9 little Indians sat up very late. One overslept, and then there were 8. So it was like, one choked on food and they died. The other one got killed when they were sleeping. There's one about going out to sea. There's one about, going to a zoo and they get killed by an animal, and so on and so forth. So the cast is trying to figure out who is doing all these murders and why they're basing it on this poem that's established in the movie, and or the book. And it's a really good mystery because it leaves you questioning everything until the last 5 minutes. And then this movie, since it was done in 1965, had a little gimmick to it where they were going to do what's called a whodunit break, where they were going to pause the movie about 5 minutes before it was over, and then something came on the screen and it was like, do you know who did it? And they'd show the people, and they'd be like, was it Anne Clyde, the secretary? Was it Judge Arthur Cannon? They would do this, and then it would be discuss amongst yourselves who did it, and then they'd have a timer. And then once the timer was up, then they would go back to the movie, and then you would see if you were right or not. I fucking love this movie. I've always loved mysteries. I loved whodunits. Any kind of whodunit, mystery, movie, novel, whatever, is totally up my speed. And when I discovered Clue as a kid, Jesus, my head fucking exploded, because it was everything that I loved all in one. It was a comedy. It was a whodunit. It was based on a board game. It was just my God, if only they had naked women in it, this would be the perfect movie for me. Yeah. So my number 4 is the 1965 version of 10 Little Indians, and I recommend the book as well, because I read the book. I'm going to be one of those pretentious douchebags. I read the book first, then I saw the movie. And I'm actually not going to say that one was better than the other, because both kind of has their upsides. The book goes into more details, but then the movie is actually very entertaining. So I'm going to recommend both. So there you go.
It was the butler. It was always the butler.
Yeah, it was the butler. Damn you, Wadsworth. All right, Bill is back. So, number 4.
All right. Number 4. I have a tie, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
I threw you off with that first one only being one movie, I think. I'm going to go with 2 movies that are kind of action and romance and drama, suspense. I'm talking about 1986 Top Gun and 1997. We just talked about this on a different podcast recently, Jason. Titanic.
Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. This is indeed a hella rad movie from the 90s.
Yes.
Hella rad.
I probably would have forgot to include it had we not just discussed it. So it was fresh in my mind.
All right, cool. Did you get to watch it? Because I know you didn't get to watch it before doing that show, so I don't know if you've had a chance to get to it.
No,
I don't blame you. It's a fucking 3-hour movie. Like when are you able to slide that in? I was just curious.
But I remember that I loved it enough to put it on here.
Good,
so.
Good.
Same with Top Gun. I can't even tell you what year I watched Top Gun last, but I know I loved it. I don't think it's come out yet, Top Gun 2. So otherwise,
no.
I probably wouldn't have watched it yet anyway.
It's got pushed because of COVID like at least 3 times by now.
Yeah, like a lot.
I think they did say 2022 was going to be the year, but we'll see.
Top Gun Maverick.
It's probably been done filming.
It was ready to go in 2020. And then they had to push it. They pushed it to 2021, and then they pushed it again, and then now they said I think spring of 2022. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Top Gun. That was probably one of the first modern movies that got like, in general, stereotypically, guys like action and stuff like that. So it was the first movie that got like guys that were only in the action movies were kind of tricked into loving a romantic movie. And girls that only will watch romantic films got into Top Gun and didn't look at it as an action, So they were both couples were able to enjoy it together very nicely, I think. And for us kids, it was just really cool.
We all like planes and fighting planes.
Explosions.
Yeah. And I just remember my my Uncle Bob, not well, Jason knows this Bob, but Pete, this is a different Bob.
Okay.
How many Bobs do you know?
I call it Bob, Bobby usually, but at work we call him Bob. My other Uncle Bob, he's my godfather too. He used to, that's like his favorite movie. And when I was a kid, I would go to his house, and him and my aunt would put it on. And at the time, they had like the coolest, newest surround sound, like those bars or whatever. They had that and stuff, and the speakers. And he would turn on the beginning of it, the Kenny Loggins. just so
Highway to the
danger zone.
Robertson.
I'm a little kid. I'm like, oh wow, it's so cool. And then it's like you got the Righteous Brothers thing, just like with Ghost. You got the romantic stuff in there, and it's really good too. It's just a really great movie all around.
Yeah.
But they're not making clay models with the stuff from Ghost, no?
Exactly. They were just like... That's why they had to do that in Ghost. Yeah, they were like, what
you missed that one scene where they
not like Top Gun.
They had the missile head on there, and they were, trying to just...
The Righteous Brothers, for some reason, owned the late 80s. It was weird. Like, all their songs were just put into movies.
Yeah, they ruled
they ruled the 80s. They were from the 50s or 60s, and they're fucking popping up in all these 80s movies.
Mafia related, I'm telling you.
All right.
You know what though? Like the 50s and 60s had like a kind of a comeback in the 80s.
Somewhat did, yeah. Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
Like now we're getting into a comeback of the 60s with some stuff.
Yeah. We're even getting to a comeback in the 90s.
We are actually, yeah. There is a 90s, comeback. We got fanny packs back.
You got a drama version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air now.
That is very true.
True.
Let's not discuss that.
All right, that was your number 4.
Uncle Phil's all serious.
Got anything else, Bill?
Ooh, that was painful.
Oh yeah, well.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You had a tie. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I forgot.
But if people want to hear my thoughts on Titanic, they should go.
They should. Yes.
It's the bomb. Am I
That's
saying
the
it
bomb,
right?
yo.
That's the bomb, yo.
RabbitHolePodcast.com.
Yeah, the episode we just did
a few weeks ago. Yep, absolutely. So.
And the people could hear my Titanic views there.
Go listen to that if you want to hear about Titanic.
I'm kind of cheating here. Well, we do that once in a while, right?
Yeah. No.
Like, I don't feel like
all the time.
Just go listen to me in this other podcast.
If we did talk about it in another podcast, absolutely. We should go ahead and promote that podcast for sure. So, all right. Good picks, dude. Good picks. Number 3's Rob. Number 3.
My number 3, I gotta
get sad for. You're gonna get sad? Don't get sad.
I'm not gonna. Actually, it kind of was a sad film. It had some sad parts to it. So my number 3 was back from 1992. It was directed by Barry Levinson and written by Valerie Curtin and Barry Levinson. It had an amazing cast. I'm going to name some people here, and you guys are going to know right off the bat what I'm talking about. We got Robin Williams, got Joan Cusack, LL Cool J, Robin Wright,
really?
Michael Gambon, who was Professor Dumbledore.
What?
And Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
No.
My number 3, 1992's Toys.
Wow. God.
Amazing film.
I didn't think anyone else on the face of the planet remembered Toys like that.
I love this movie.
Jesus.
So, this movie was kind of a bomb. It was kind of a flop. Budgeted at about $43 million, and it only grossed $23 million worldwide. So, if nobody's ever seen this, first off, where have you been?
Nobody's seen this. Only me and you, I think.
So
I know of it.
Yeah, I know.
I had this VHS when I was a kid.
I had it too.
Yeah.
I had VHS.
Jesus Christ.
So Robin Williams plays a character called Leslie Zevo, who's part of the Zevo family toys. The father, Kenneth, passes away, and he wills the company to his brother, which is Leland, and that's the character played by Sir Michael Gambon. And he kind of takes it over, and he kind of turns it into like a military style toy factory, but he kind of progresses it to try to make it to where it's like a war zone, basically, because he's from a military lifestyle, so he's thinking like, I could turn this, and I could turn this company into a sword on sword, military training facility. And Leslie kind of takes up the reins and says, "No, I'm going to stop you." What's really funny is Joanne Cusack is the sister of both characters, but she plays a robot. It was the theatrical debut of Jamie Foxx. It was his first. He was, from In Living Color, and this was his first film ever done. A couple funny things about this. So the scene where Robin Williams is talking to he's got that one scene where he's doing like a patent. He's talking to his military. He's like talking to his military toys. That was all Robin Williams. Once again, he does a lot of ad-lib throughout a lot of his movies. So he ad-libbed all that. The film itself, I don't know if you guys remember. Jay, you remember it. You remember how weird
oh my God, it was fucking weird. It was really weird. It was bizarre, especially the music video that was in the movie itself. That was actually the music video
was actually performed by Robin Williams and Joanne Cusack. It was MTV styled. That and the film itself kind of took and drew inspiration from the surrealist painter Rene Magritte. I probably mispronounced his name. Margitte. So a lot of the movie, the pastel colors, the really weird patterns that the entire movie was all done in kind of Rene's realism style paintings. And this, so what was really sad about this movie, the reason why it bombed the most is because it took, once again, this was one of the movies where it took 10 years to develop the film, from the concept of it to the actual release. And it was released about a month after Aladdin was released. So it bombed. Like in the theaters, it took a nosedive off the 13th story and just hit the pavement because Aladdin was so popular. And because of that situation, Robin Williams was like, look, I want you to take my name out of, keep my name out of the marketing for Aladdin because I'm doing this movie. And Disney's like, oh yeah, sure. But they lied. They didn't do it at all. They're like, Robin Williams, main name, boom. And because of that little break right there, that was like one of the last films that Robin Williams did with Disney. He's like, look, you guys lied to me. I'm not going to do this. I really had my heart and soul on toys. You guys just killed it, But if you guys have not seen Toys, it is a damn good film. It's a very heartfelt story. It's about family. It's about love. It's about honoring the wishes of, your predecessors. One of the last thing I'm going to mention about is, I think I remember this. So in the scene in the beginning, Kenneth passes away, and his memorial is this cute little elephant that blows bubbles. And I think that actually still is in Universal Studios in one of the backlots. I may be wrong about this, but yeah. But my number 3, Robin Williams, Toys, damn good movie.
It's really weird though. It's a really weird movie.
I still gotta watch it.
Weird.
I'm a big Robin Williams fan, so I have to still that I totally forgot about that movie.
It's good. I liked it. Yeah. It was just very weird, a little surreal.
That the surrealism was because of the painter Rene. They took a lot of his inspiration, and that probably freaked a lot of people out. But it was like overall, like I said, it was one of those movies where it's a great it's a great family film, despite the dark content built into it. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Don't you suppose?
I can't see that being a family film. It's a little.
Oh, look at me! I'm Jason. I suppose.
Indeed, that was a good impersonation to me, man. I thought that was me for a second. Man, I thought you were my clone. Jesus, you scared me. All right, Pete, what's your number 3?
Oh, let me get a prop real quick. Oh, not the one from earlier. This is a different one, and people see the one I'm talking about later on.
Giant dildo.
If you like this guy right here,
I love that film.
If you like this one here, yeah, that's Loki, my friend, but that's not the. If you like
Loki.
Oh, Loki, what we have here?
Oh yeah, I'm being low key right now.
I'll say.
So, my number 3 is from the Books of Asgard, and that is the Thor movie, which was directed by Kenneth Branagh. If you know what I'm saying, he usually doesn't do superhero movies, Kenneth Branagh, but he directed this one, which was a very, very great Marvel film. Well casted too, because if you read the comic, there's not many comic book movies that have the characters look like the characters in the comic. Chris Hemsworth, of course, as you know, plays Thor. in the comic, he looks just like Thor. I mean, wonderfully done. Then you got your Anthony. I can't say it. Here, Anthony Hopkins, who plays his father.
Anthony.
Right, Odin. If you see the
comics, got turned down for the part. I believe.
Huh? Who did?
Anthony.
But anyways, from the toy itself, right there, Loki was Tom Hiddleston, of course. Good old Hiddleston. You got Natalie Portman in that movie as not Jodie Foster, but Jane Foster. You had a whole bunch of good people in there. Stellan Skarsgård. You had Colm Furr. You had your Idris Elba. Oh God, you had your Kat Dennings in that movie. And did you see the promotional thing that she did, that picture? But anyways, I'll go back to that later. The movie basically itself is Thor comes to Earth, pretty much, like, you know, and he's banished from Asgard, pretty much from Odin, and he's got his powers taken away, and he has to prove himself that he can get his powers back, and it's all due to stuff that Loki did, and you have like the oh God, I can't think of that. Let me look at my notes real quick. Like I said, I'm usually better than this. You had King of the Frost Giants, Lafoy, and of course, like I said, Loki working together. A lot of good stuff in this movie. A lot of action, a lot of good Marvel-y things, if you know what I'm saying. I got too much to say, and I'll try to keep it short. But yeah, like I said, you had your good old Stanley cameo. But I always say random things, and I got one for you. 2 comic book guys were in that movie. And I say comic book people, I mean actually people like artists, writer, whatever. You had your J. Michael Straczynski and Walter Simonson. Now, if you ever seen Comic Book Men, you know who Walter Simonson is, because he would popped up on there several times. But now, like I said, I had to say it real quick because I have a lot to say. I just want to keep it short. So that's my number 3, Thor.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first movie, and I definitely enjoyed the third movie. The second one can whatever.
It seemed rushed. It seemed way too rushed.
The second one.
It's not that good.
The fourth one I'm looking for.
Me too. Yeah.
The whole thing's a bit of a Thor subject for me.
Thor. You know who's in the new one, right?
Him and Phil.
Christian Bale is going to be the villain.
Ooh. Is he Patrick Bateman?
Is
he going to run around with a chainsaw?
I'm
gonna look.
No. A chainsaw? What? I said a motherfucking chainsaw. What?
Is he going to talk like this?
Hey, Thor, look at this.
Oh, sorry.
Do you listen to Thanos?
I seen a video on that earlier. There was a guy that looked like Thanos on the. It was on TikTok. They found a double, and they said, "You look like Thanos," and he said some line from the movie and stuff. It was funny as hell. The guy actually looked like the character. Swear to God.
Like a butt chin and everything.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry for that guy.
Wow,
man.
He was purple.
Jesus.
He wasn't purple.
A giant purple guy with a gauntlet full of stones. God, I feel sorry for that guy.
No. I mean, you're saying like without the purple thing.
All right, my number 3 is a tie again. So
you people in your ties, come on.
Hey, these were really hard. All right.
Okay.
So
fair.
So the first movie's kind of a time travel movie, but it's more of a time loop. Really, more. It's gonna actually. Our friend Bubba Wheat, who has a time loop podcast called "It's Time to Rewind," is going to be covering this movie next season. But it's called Triangle, and this is a movie that's kind of has a cult following. It focuses on this woman who gets invited. The beginning of this is going to sound like Gilligan's Island. She gets invited onto a boat to go to go boating, and then a giant storm shows up and it capsizes the boat, and then they get lost at sea. But instead of going to an island, they find a giant cruise ship. So they climb onto the cruise ship, and they find that the ship is completely empty. There's nobody on board. It's completely abandoned. There's nobody around. So they're kind of investigating. And then the main woman that we're following starts going through a time loop. Things start kind of repeating. She starts noticing other versions of herself and the people that came onto the boat. And so this is kind of hard to movie explain. So basically things just start getting really weird and crazy because of all this, and this continues looping. Like, things keep looping. They keep finding dead bodies of themselves on board. Something one version of them did affect another version of themselves. It's a really wild movie. It's really awesome. And it's, it's one of those movies you kind of have to watch like a couple of times to kind of catch everything. And it wasn't until like my second or third time that I noticed a certain thing that I don't want to spoil. But if
spoil it,
no, because if anyone wants to see it, I want them to discover it organically. So, but there's a thing that I didn't notice until like my third time watching, and I was like, oh, okay, I wonder what that means. That's interesting. So, anywho, that's Triangle. That's one of my movies. The second movie, I'm probably gonna talk a lot about. It might even show up on someone's list here, and that's gonna be The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Kurt Russell. Classic movie. Great body horror. You got this alien who can infect people, and then they start turning into creatures, and there's a lot of paranoia, and you don't know who's the infected, who's the one. And actually, I got it right here. There is a great.
You weren't supposed to use it because it has the word.
There's a great board game on it.
I wasn't gonna say anything, Rob, but I was thinking.
Shut up, you guys. Anyway, there's a great board game right here. This is like one of my favorite board games, and they did a really good job. They did a good job, like capturing the paranoia. That's like the main thing about this game, is capturing the paranoia. Because you start off, just really quickly, you start the game off handing out these cards, and it tells you if you're infected or if you're not infected, and then you have to go on these missions. And then people are suddenly like, well, I don't know if I want Pete to go with me because he's been kind of acting weird, so I don't know if I want him to go on my mission. But then ends up being Rob, so so it's a fun game.
I'm always the toaster.
You're always the goddamn toaster. And anyway, so that's The Thing. I probably don't need to say much about it.
So Jason, let me ask you a couple questions here. Do you know what that board game is based? The movie is based off of. Do you know the book?
Yeah, I know. It's Who Goes There. I've not read it, and or anything like that. But the movie, the John Carpenter, is based on a 1953 movie called The Thing from Another World. And I've actually seen that movie. It's actually a good movie too for its time. It's a good 50s sci-fi movie. It's more like a monster, like a creature feature type thing, because it actually has like a giant alien coming through like the station, whatever. I almost said space station, but they're not in space. The Antarctica station, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
In space.
But yeah. So anyway, my number 3 is Triangle and The Thing.
The video game is great.
What's really funny about The Thing, it's based off of that, which is based off of the novella Who Goes There. and I own both. Jason, you and I both own The Thing, but I own the board game Who Goes There, which was done by Certifiable Studios. That's also an amazing board game. The Thing, fun as hell to play. Who Goes There is a little more meaty.
Yeah,
it's a little more. There's a lot more to do.
Cerebral, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to let them know that I talked about them. That way they can give us some sponsorship.
Well, when we covered The Thing on Cinegamer, another rabbit hole pod, we're just bringing up all the other podcasts Jesse? On this one. We will cover that. So, all right, Bill, I'm gonna let you do your number 3, but I do have to run as well for a minute. So, proceed.
Well,
why is everybody running? Is everybody taking pee breaks?
I want to know, Pete and Jason, are you guys getting notifications for the good time in the podcast to leave?
What?
You're using RunPee.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, my RunPee is telling me this is a perfect time to go to the bathroom, so.
Awesome.
I'm just using a bottle. I mean,
see, mine didn't work. Nice.
That's that noise I hear. No, okay.
Mine didn't work because it's RunPee, not run to see why your dog puked everywhere.
Oh, poor puppers. Yeah. Poor puppers. Hope his puppers better.
Yeah. I think he's all right, though.
I swear, I thought you were going to say, not run, why is my kid puking?
Oh, God, no. That would be even more, yeah. I hate to even say this one without Jason here, because I know how much he's going to love to hear this pick.
Screw him.
I'm being very sarcastic because he hates this movie with a passion.
What's your number 3? What's the movie he hates so much?
For my number 3, I have Twilight, Breaking Dawn, Part 2. I'm serious. I'm very serious. I know I joke a lot and try and trick you guys. I love the Twilight movies as much as Jason hates them. And
I can't believe you believe in crystal vampires, man.
I do. I'm sorry, Pete.
Speak of the devil, here he comes.
Continue.
Okay, for whatever reason, you haven't popped up on my thing at all. Like, that sounded so wrong.
You haven't popped up on my thing.
Well, that's because I'm gonna do. I made a joke about inside jokes, so I'm gonna make another one. Bill, that's because Bean's coming out. I had to do it.
It's so unrelated.
Yeah,
too.
Well, no one said it had to be related.
True. No, for real though. For whatever reason, I have not seen you on the screen once.
I can't. Yeah, you weren't here. You weren't here at the beginning. First off, I hope you actually did your number 3 and you didn't wait for me to come back, because that's going to be really annoying.
We were in the process.
Secondly,
we were in the process.
I said at the beginning that, and you weren't here. I can't have the live stream and the Zoom, my camera on both. So I recommended to these guys, if you want to see me, you need to go to twitch.tv/rabbitholepods and you can see me on there. But you're not going to see me on the Zoom window. So, anywho, continue with whatever you were saying.
Well, as I
was godsend.
He was talking about crystallization.
Yeah, I was discussing one of my favorite movies that I just know you love.
Oh God,
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Christ. I'm shutting this down. No, this is done. Stream's over. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Oh my God! Fuck those movies.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. You only put that on there to troll me. I know you did. Just.
Where did the banana come from?
That's what she said.
I don't know where. Bill just pulls out a banana. He's like,
just pulled out a banana the way you said it. You just pulled out a banana.
Go ahead and talk about stupid Twilight and stupid sparkly vampires and stupid werewolves who have a thing for babies and I don't know what the fuck else happens. Go ahead.
Well, as much as you hate it for all the right or wrong reasons or whatever, I love the Twilight series, as you may or may not have known. I know Pete and Rob probably didn't know, and they seem kind of shocked too.
I was shocked when you pulled out the banana.
Yeah.
You sick
I'm
bastard.
staying quiet, so you got the floor, Bill. I want this over with. Just go.
It's not the first time I've pulled one out. I tried so hard to not laugh and say that. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like with ours. I wanted to just pick 5 out of the 6 Rockies at first, and I know you guys are probably getting sick to your stomach thinking of comparing Rocky and Twilight, but or like it crossed my mind to put just Star Trek or Star Wars on the S at one point too. I considered just putting the 5 Twilight movies, but I didn't want to give Jason like a heart attack or stroke or anything, so I just went with this one.
I see Jason taking a rope, just throwing it, and then hanging himself right now.
Yeah, see, Jason, I did you a favor, buddy. I only even put 1 instead of 5, just for you.
Anywho.
And that's after compromising with the...
All right, you know what? Fair enough. Okay, you got me. You let me have the rule. I'll let you have fucking Twilight.
I'll just say I'll make it short since everyone hates it so much. I went with the last one because the first 4 the plot was building up in each one more and more, and the 5th one is when everything kind of comes together and the most stuff happens, or at least seems like it's happening. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. There's the fighting or not fighting, and I don't know.
All I'm gonna say is he looks like be a badass Batman. That's all I'm saying. Yes. We talked about Batman earlier. He looks like a badass
I have nothing
Batman.
against Robert Pattinson as a person. He's a fine person.
He's an amazing
Kristen
actor.
Stewart is hot, so I have nothing against the actors. It's just the fucking movie. It's the book, the screenplay, all that is terrible.
I disagree, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
I just don't disagree as passionately as you do about it.
No, yeah, I agree. It is absolutely fine.
I hate it, and here's why. List all the reasons.
To be fair, I've only seen the first one.
I've seen the first 2, and then I had enough.
I got pissed off, like I said, when I heard they had crystallized vampires and stuff and all that other crap, and then it was a lovey-dovey story. I said, this is not a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Not a
I'm
vampire
gonna say
I'm a werewolf.
I'm gonna say
I love you both. I can't decide.
I'm gonna say one positive thing about it. It is one of the best riff tracks I've seen in a very long time. Riff Tracks did an amazing job ripping this movie to shreds. It's my top. It's up there with like their take on The Room. Their take on The Room was amazing. Their take on Twilight is amazing. So I'm going to say that. If it wasn't for Twilight, we wouldn't have gotten this amazing riff tracks out of it. So I'm going to say that. That's my positive thing.
I'm probably gonna be real stubborn, hard-headed, and never watch that.
It's hilarious. It is.
But I'll take you.
It's hilarious. Anywho, anything else to say?
What was it? There was something. Dang it. I was definitely gonna say something.
Well, while you're thinking about it, I'm just gonna say this. I am mildly disappointed that you like these movies, but
as he eats a banana.
But it's perfectly fine that you do like the movies because we all have different tastes.
Fuck, that hurts.
But we all have different tastes, so it's perfectly okay. I am just disappointed. That's all.
Thank you. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay.
Oh, that's along the lines of what I forgot I was gonna say. I was gonna say, for people that have been listening, you probably kind of picked up on it by now, but I like a lot of stuff that probably the rest of the co-hosts of mine don't like. Like I'm real into romantic comedies. I know Jason at least hates them with a passion.
We talked about that. We talked about that too on the Titanic episode.
Yep. I'm into musicals, and Rob. I know
That's true. That is true. I just think musicals are okay. I don't hate them.
Nobody breaks out the song and dance in 5 minutes of their lives.
Yeah, like they're like, well, you know,
nobody's
Johnny was a good
shit.
guy, and Johnny died in a car crash. But then Johnny was good. You know, it's like,
no, nobody is sitting there on the toilet taking a shit, and then out of nowhere, my bowels are not working properly. I think I need to call the doctor.
Coming next fall, Constipation the musical, written by Rob Branch and starring Rob Branch. He doesn't know it yet.
It's a 3-part. It's a 3-act film, 3-act play with a guy on the toilet.
And then I come in the final act to say, "End your constipation with one of these."
For the audio version of this, Bill's eating a banana. Just for the audio people who are listening to this in the audio. All right, we need to move on. So, all right, Twilight, whatever, number 3. Okay, Rob, what's your number 2?
Okay, before I say my number 2, like I said, I've never seen anything past the first Twilight, and I thought that the baseball scene in the first Twilight was amazing. It was awesome.
All right.
But after that, it just lost my interest. So my number 2 was a 1984 film. I'm going back almost 20 years. Starring a young Val Kilmer, Lucy Goodrich, who really didn't do anything after 93. And it also starred Grand Moff Tarkin. That's right. It starred Peter Cushing. It was 1984's Top Secret.
Oh!
Directed and written by Jim Abrams, Dave and Jerry Zucker. So this movie was fucking phenomenal. Yes. So it was budgeted for about $9 million and it grossed over $20 million. So it made twice its value. This movie was during Zucker and Abrams' like highlight of their genre, their movie phenomenals. They were spoofing movies, and most notably, they were spoofing Elvis films at this time. So Val Kilmer plays Nick Rivers, who's a kind of a World War II spy, and he's a handsome 50s rock and roll movie star, you know. So while he's performing in East Germany, he gets caught up in the resistance. He ends up falling in love with a beautiful heroine, which is played by Lucy Goodrich, which she really didn't do a lot of stuff after like 1993. But they become involved with the British resistance. And it's just, there's just a whole bunch of zany, just insanity that ensues after this. A couple notable things. So the songs that Val Kilmer that sang during the movie, Val Kilmer did sing these movies during the movie. In the soundtrack, when the soundtrack was released in 1984, it was actually released, and Val Kilmer's name was Nick Rivers. So he sang the movies, and then the Zuckers and Abrams thought this would be amazing if we just titled Nick Rivers, you know. The most notable scene where Peter Cushing is involved in is the one scene where the entire scene from beginning to end was shot, it was staged, it was shot, and then it was ran backwards throughout the entire scene. It's the scene where they're in the Swedish bookstore, and they're talking in reverse, and everything is happening in reverse. So, you know, they have the book, and then they catch it, and they're like this, and they throw it back up, you know. That was all shot. And then when they go to edit it, they edit it in reverse. They reverse the entire scene, but they had the script, so they knew what to put down in the subtitles. A couple other things about the subtitles. It's really funny. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, that there are so many insults throughout the entire movie. Very subtle insults. Like the one scene, there's a book. If you in the bookstore, its title is in Swedish, but it is translated to "Lesbian Bars of the North Carolina."
Alrighty.
I'm not joking about this. It's dead serious. And there's this one scene where the German officers pick up the giant phone, and you can hear them say, "Oh God, I'm gonna mess this up," but I'm gonna try and do my best German here. Sin schon wenn du machst Arschloch not Arschloch, Arschloch, which translated to "They're already gone, you stupid asshole." So there are a lot of. I gotta give props to the Abrams and to the Zuckers, because when they did the insults in the movie, they're phenomenal. Like, if you don't speak Swedish and you don't speak German, you're gonna listen to these and they're like, oh, okay. But if you pick up on the subtle, they're beautiful Easter eggs. And one of the funniest things. So we're talking about the one scene in the bookstore. Peter Cushing is, I don't know if you guys know, he was Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars, but he had a huge acting career before that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of black and white films.
A lot of Dracula.
So, yeah. Exactly, a lot of Dracula films. He was an amazing actor. So there's this one scene in the bookstore where he's got the spyglass, right? And it's up to his eye. And he takes away the spyglass, but his eye is still the same size as the spyglass. It's a parody shot of his scene from Terence Fisher's The Curse of Frankenstein back in 1957. So if you guys have never seen, if nobody has ever seen The Curse of Frankenstein, directed by Terence Fisher back in 1957, I recommend you watch it. It's an amazing black and white film. And if you've seen Top Secret, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But the last thing, kind of a funny part, because cows are excuse me there. Cows are kind of a joke throughout the entire movie. There's a cow on the cover of Top Secret. There's one part in the movie where a cow is literally walking with boots on. And that's not the thing. Cows hate boots. Cows hate anything on their hooves. So what they did was they took boots, they cut the bottoms of the boots off, and they put Velcros on the boots on the bottom parts. So it looks like the cow is actually walking with boots. Cows hate having things put on their feet. It's just kind of a phobia, kind of like people with human spiders, you know. Hold on 1 second. Get down, you little shit. Get down, cat. My cat was literally about to turn my computer off, and you would have lost me. Sorry about that. Like he was perching, and he was like, off button.
Live, folks.
Yeah.
We are live.
So live. We are live. I have cats. I am that cat guy. Screw you if you don't like them. Yeah, my number 2, one of my all-time top movies. I will love it till the day I die. I will probably be buried with a DVD version of this. If I'm not buried, I will be cremated with it. It is 1984's Top Secret.
Yeah, I love that movie. That is so funny. I love the I love the train scene where they're.
Whoa! Who said they didn't see it?
I didn't.
Pete, get the hell out of here right now.
I love the train scene where they're sitting in the train and then you think the train's moving, but it's actually the background and they're carrying the train station around. Like, I love that part. It's an awesome movie, man. I love those.
Val Kilmer's their face was throughout that scene. They were so.
Yeah, they filmed it seriously. Yeah, that's what was so good about that. That's kind of what's good about like the airplane movies and all those movies is like the actors take what they're doing seriously, but they're doing goofy shit, and that adds like another level of humor to it as well. It's like Naked Gun is like one of my favorite movies, and Leslie Nielsen's seriousness in all those movies is like kills me. I love all those good movies. Awesome, good pick, man. Good pick. Pete, number 2.
Mine?
Make it good, Pete.
Oh, it's really good. Really good. It is a James Cameron fucking classic.
Ooh.
Get down to the chopper! This is the wrong movie. Don't talk about the chopper. It's the Terminator.
Terminator.
But I love this movie from 1984, man. That was like Michael Biehn plays the guy sent back to get Arnold's character too. You got Linda Hamilton, and it's dubbed science fiction action. But if you notice too, it's a lot of horror in that one specifically, the original, because the robot they did for Arnold back for the first one was just badass. I mean, but a T2 had a really good robot for him after he got all demolished and all that stuff in that one. But oh man, you see the shit in this one. It's like the FX, everything was badass. It was
at the time it was
John Carpenter-ish or something. Like, it wasn't James Cameron-ish. It was John Carpenter feel. Like talking about James John Carpenter, because that's what I'm saying. James Cameron made the movie.
James Cameron. Sorry, go on, Pete. I'm sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, so but it didn't feel like that type of movie, as it felt more horror film, and it just was badass and action all the way through. Linda Hamilton looked more scared than she did in any other movie in the Terminator franchise, of course, because it was original, So I always love watching this, and that's my short review for Terminator.
It's a classic.
Very good.
I have to agree. That's a scary, scary movie, that first one.
Has everybody seen all of the Terminator movies?
I've seen the first 3 and then Genesis.
I think I've seen all but one.
They're really interesting if you watch them all together, like one after another. The timeline that they create, sometimes they overlap and sometimes they just go like off to a different branch, but it's really interesting.
Yeah, I guess kind of spoilerish. Genesis sort of erases all the previous movies. That's all I'm gonna say. I won't spoil anything else, but
that's the one with Matt Smith, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
doctor,
he's in it. Yep.
And what's her name from Game of Thrones?
Oh my God, what is her real name? Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Emma Stone.
Yeah. She was an okay.
Emilia, Emma, if you're watching,
she was an okay Sarah Connor. Not the best one, but she was good.
Sarah Connor, come here if you want to live.
All right.
Come with me if you want to live.
My number 2. We have come to my time travel picks. So, I limited myself to 2 because I really could have made all of these time travel movies, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, another tie. So Rob, get mad at me.
I'm so angry.
Are you in a glass case of emotion? And
so much anger in
nothing
to
do with what I'm about to talk about. Okay, one of these is I have a lot of underrated movies on my list.
You do.
This is also very underrated. I actually introduced this movie to Bill, And Bill loved this movie so much that I think, if I remember correctly, you borrowed it a little bit longer so you can watch it.
Never returned it.
No, he did return it, but he kept it a little bit longer because he wanted to keep watching it, and I don't blame him. Because the first time I seen this, I immediately stopped it when it was over, and I watched it again, like, just immediately, and I never do that. And I'm talking about Time Crimes. I fucking love this movie. This is one of my favorite time travel movies.
Never heard of it.
It's from Spain. It's subtitled. It's got subtitles in it, and I gotta look up the guy's name. But the director, he's gone on to direct some American stuff. He went on to do Colossal. If you remember Colossal, the movie with Anne Hathaway, every time she gets drunk, a giant monster appears in Tokyo and starts killing people. That he did that movie. He did Open Windows, one of the favorite movies of mine. And I'm trying to see what else he did. His name is Nacho Vigalondo. That's his name. He's from Spain. And true story. I'm not bullshitting you. I would never lie to you. You guys are my friends. I would never lie to you.
Yes, you would.
I made a YouTube video parroting this movie, and the director saw it and retweeted it.
Oh,
nice.
That's fucking
and
awesome.
I was like, "Fuck yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that was awesome." So Time Crimes. I'm gonna be really quickly about this. I don't want to spoil it. So it involves this guy named Hector. He's moving into this house with his wife, and he notices a naked woman in the woods behind his house. So he goes to investigate, and he ends up getting chased by this masked guy in a trench coat, and he gets chased to this it's like a I don't know what to call it. It's a building that's just up in a hill somewhere, and he runs inside because he's being chased by this guy in a mask. And there's this guy inside this building who's actually played by the director, Nacho Vigalondo, and he tells Hector, "Hey, get into this." Is basically it's like a giant hot tub. It's almost like Hot Tub Time Machine, but before it was Hot Tub Time Machine. But he gets to this big giant. What I'll call a hot tub, and then he suddenly finds himself thrown backwards in time to earlier that day, and he finds out because it was at night when he was being chased, and then he goes back to earlier that morning, and then he sees himself in the house, and then he sees the naked girl, and then he realizes that all the stuff that was happening to him that led him to the building was caused by him. He was the one doing all this stuff. So, and I'm gonna stop there because then there's a twist, and I don't want to ruin the twist. But it's a fun movie. It's really great. The time travel is actually spot on. It's why it's one of my favorites because they get the time travel like perfect. A lot of movies don't get time travel perfect. This one does it phenomenally. And it's kind of funny in some parts. Kind of dark in other parts, and it's just great. Not a lot of people talk about it for some reason. So that's Time Crimes. And in my second movie, it's a.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Time Cop.
No, I struggled. I wanted to put, but okay, but here, hang on.
That was a cool movie.
I'm gonna talk about Time Cop on That's the Bomb Yo, so I kind of wanted to save it for that. So,
Fair.
no, my pick is a classic movie, and it's kind of one of the few. It's one of the movies that makes me think of my mom, and because she introduced this to me, because she was the reason why I got into time travel. You know, the concept of time travel.
She built a time machine.
Did. We spent years time traveling together. No, she was also a time travel nerd like I am, and she introduced me to Doctor Who and
That's awesome.
Back to the Future, and this movie, which is The Time Machine from 1963. I want to say 1963. It is based on H.G. Wells' novel of the same name, and it's actually a pretty good. It's a good movie. It's a great movie, but it's also a good transition from book to screen. It's pretty spot on. Because I read the book a little bit later in life, and it's pretty. It follows like the same story and everything, so it's actually really good. It involves this guy named George who invents a time machine, and he ends up he's in the 1800s. It's actually 1899. We're gonna party like it's 1899. Woo! And he invents a time machine, and then he starts going to the future. And he stops off, like, you know, he goes through all the major events like World War One, World War Two. Then, like, in like the late 60s, there's this big nuclear war that happens, and it like causes the Earth to like be ruined for like thousands and thousands of years, until he finds himself like far, 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 far in the future. It's like the year 80,000. And then he stops and he finds this peaceful race of people named the Eloi, but they're being stalked by the Molochs. And then hilarity ensues from there. I fucking love this movie. Like, seriously, this is, oh my God, I can't even tell you how much I love it.
Jason, what about the 2002 version with us?
It's okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. Bill, I don't know if you remember, me and you went and saw the remake in theaters. And I don't know what you thought, but I didn't hate it. I actually thought it was okay by itself. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you don't compare the two and just kind of make it its own thing, it's actually not that bad.
I was gonna bring that up. Actually, I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
But I still
go ahead.
I still haven't watched the original.
I'm pretty sure I showed this to you.
The original was good.
I'm pretty sure because it was when I was sorry to everyone out there. This is like a me and Bill conversation right now. Bill, it was when I was living with my grandma at the trailer park.
You hear that, Pete? We don't matter, so let's leave.
Remember? No, sorry, but Bill, do you remember? Yeah, it was when I was you came over one time, and I think I just got it then on DVD, and I'm fairly confident I remember showing this to you.
No, I came over there a bunch of times. Not just one time.
That's right. It was more. Okay, you came over 3 times. No, but seriously, I did show this to you. I know I did. I'm very, very confident that I showed this to you. Because I remember.
You know what? I'll take your word. I just don't remember.
I think if you were to go back to watch it, it'll probably be like, oh, yeah, I did see this.
But I definitely remember going to the show. We did see that.
Yeah, we saw the remake in the theater. And again, I think it's just okay. It's not like the best movie in the world. But it was good. Yeah, it was good for what it was. But I'm putting the original on my list because it's my favorite.
The 1960?
It's my favorite. And great performances. Actually pretty good effects for that time. The time traveling effects was pretty good. The monster makeup on the Molochs, holy shit, were they terrifying. Like, they were creepy as fuck. So yeah, there you go. My number 2 is Time Crimes, which everyone needs to go see, and The Time Machine from 1960.
I would love to see the 60s. I would love to see the 60s version of that.
I will have to. You know what? I need to start making a list because I keep saying I'm going to lend you stuff.
There are a lot of things that you
and I can't remember them all. I'm gonna actually save this file that I'm using here. Loan to
Rob.
There. Okay, now I'm gonna save this, and then
Debbie Does Dallas, Time Machine.
All right, there we go. Save. So now, next time I go see you, I will open up this file, and I will remember to bring this to you. So there we go.
No, you won't. You'll forget the file. You're like, I was supposed to bring something. Shit.
Okay. Well, Bill was up, but he disappeared. So
Bill?
Okay.
There he
He's
is.
back.
There he
okay.
is.
Bill, what is?
Why is he wearing a hat?
What is your number 2? Go ahead.
Well,
Happy New Year's, Bill. You're about a month late.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, really.
I thought you'd enjoy that. My first of the 2 movies in the tie here is, I don't know if it counts.
It does count.
I think they count music like if a movie isn't a traditional type of musical.
It doesn't count
because
it's a musical. It doesn't count.
Huh?
It's a musical. It doesn't count.
No, I'm trying to figure out if it is.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you, Bill. It doesn't count.
All right. What is it?
It was just another piece. And sorry.
Like, do you count a movie where the people don't break into song or anything like that? But
okay.
There's music throughout.
Here's an example.
Consistently.
In Top Secret, they broke out into song, but that is not a musical.
But it's not. Yeah, it's true. That is true.
So.
Yeah, but this one they don't break into song at all.
What movie is it? What movie? Tell us, what movie is it?
That Thing You Do.
That is not a musical.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I was actually going to put that. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with Jason. That is technically not a musical.
Okay, because some people like I think I've seen it categorized in like video stores before. Where
because then you'd have to say you have to say Empire Records is a musical.
Yeah. The Sound of Music is a musical.
That Thing You Do, the band was like consistently playing throughout.
Right.
But that was okay. So That Thing You Do is a movie based on the idea of creating the band, right?
How I view musicals is if it's like they're doing a mundane task and then they just start singing about doing that mundane task. That's a musical.
Like Little Shop of Horrors.
If it's a movie that follows a band or features a singer and then they're like on stage performing or singing, that is not a musical, because then you got like Empire Records, The Bodyguard, Spice World, I guess.
Oh God, you son of a bitch! I think
Purple Rain is considered a musical.
No, it's not.
I would not count that as a musical. I wouldn't count that as a musical.
So the one movie I will say that could and could not be counted as a musical, hand in hand, like back to back, is Tenacious D.
Okay, yeah, I'm with Rob. Yeah, I can see that.
That is the one movie where it borders musical and non-musical at the same time.
Yeah, I could. You're right.
Most movies are either they're a musical.
So That Thing You Do, yeah. I'm gonna say would not be a musical.
Maybe
it's just a movie about a band.
Yeah, I would say Pete's right. It's more of a biopic.
Well, but they're not a real band either.
Yeah,
it's a fictional biopic.
Okay, that's fine. Anywho,
sorry, Bill.
Yes,
go
ahead, Bill.
Yeah, anywho, like you say.
Anywho.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that was interesting in what you guys thought about that part, but. I love that movie.
It's got Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Tom Hanks, you're gonna like. But
hey,
also,
take off the glasses. Stop doing heroin. Tom Hanks is an amazing actor.
Wait, what?
Bill's confused.
I love Tom Hanks.
But you were like, if you like Tom Hanks.
Oh, well, and I do.
Anywho, okay.
I wasn't insinuating.
Anywho, go on, Bill. Come on.
That Thing You Do.
But yeah, as I say, there's also like, God, what is that guy's name? I should have looked into that ahead of time. I didn't prepare I'm not as prepared as Pete.
Well, I got my notes here, and I'm still using
I know, that's what I was saying. You crept together.
It's got Tom Hanks, Steve Zahn, Charlize Theron, Liv Tyler.
That's a good cast.
Tom Everett Scott.
A very young.
Yeah, that's the guy. He was in the sequel, American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
Oh,
he was in that.
Yeah, that was a great movie too.
That guy was like, he did That Thing You Do and that one and like a few other. He was like popular for that short while.
That's true.
Dead Man on Campus was another one he did.
Crap, he played Booster Gold in Batman: The Brave, the Bold.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
Horrible character.
And I think someone said it already, right? Liv Tyler.
Yep.
Liv
Yeah.
Tyler, yeah.
God damn, Liv Tyler. But anyway.
Indeed.
Oh, and the dude from oh gosh, Empire Records, he was in, right?
Who? Tom Everett Scott? He wasn't in Empire Records.
No, not him.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, Ethan Embry.
Oh, Ethan Embry. Yeah, he was in. He was in Empire
And,
Records.
And
It was hilarious in Empire Records.
Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I think I like about that movie is all those like people that were famous to that short period of time there. They were all in there.
Giovanni Ribisi was in it. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you're gonna hear about that guy in a little bit.
That's a. So Bill, let me ask you, what about this movie? Like making it your top two. What made this your top two?
I love the songs. I love the music. I love the idea of this band, even though they're fictitious. I think they would have been a cool actual band.
Wasn't it kind of like a spoof of the Beatles?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think it was like a tape. I think it was basically any band in the '60s. It was kind of more, I can't think of any other example. Like Rolling Stones, maybe a little bit in there, or like any kind of clean cut, band in the '60s that were like that. That's basically kind of what I think they were.
It was more like a one-hit wonder version of them.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But they were like so popular for that one song for so long that it seemed like a long time, whatever. And everyone was running after them like the Beatles and stuff and Elvis. Yep. Also, I remember it was playing when I went to France in high school, and that movie was playing I think on the way back. Yeah. It was either playing on the way there or the way back on the plane. I think it was on the way back. So it's like, that was the first time I saw it. And so it's like, that's a memory I have where that makes it even cooler for me.
All right.
It's awesome. It's a good movie. Damn good movie.
Very good movie. All right.
And what did I have it tied with?
You had it, that's right. You had it tied.
Yeah. What was the other movie?
I didn't go there, did I? Jason, you're gonna, guys,
Another Twilight movie.
Oh boy. Prepare yourself,
all
buddy.
Right.
Okay, brace for impact, everybody.
Got it. Go.
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Okay, I don't hate that movie as much.
Oh,
I don't hate that movie as much.
I
didn't like it. I didn't like it, but I don't hate it as much as Twilight.
Remember at the time you hated it when it came out,
because of how disappointing it was. It could have been so much more. I was promised identity theft, and I did not get identity theft.
It totally was identity.
No.
Wait, what?
No.
He took over his whole
he just
persona
acted like the guy. He didn't claim to be the guy. That's different. No.
Yeah, but
this is what I was
thought
promised. I was promised Matt Damon killing Jude Law, and then him transforming himself into Jude Law, and then going around saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm Jude Law." None of that ever happened.
Well, he took.
I'm
like,
so
tried
confused
to
right
copy
now.
the sound of his voice, like he did like the Terminator.
I did not. I was just disappointed. I was just disappointed in the movie. I don't hate it on the grand level like I do Twilight, but I was just disappointed. I even watched this like twice or 3 times with you to see if I can get over it, and I was like, I can't. It's kind of boring to me. Not a lot happens. There was not. The trailers. Everything made it sound like Matt Damon's gonna kill Jude Law, and then he's gonna transform into Jude Law. That was what I was promised, and that's not what I got. So, but I will respect that Philip Seymour Hoffman's in this movie, and he passed away some time ago. So I will respect him for that. He is a brilliant actor, and I think I actually liked him in this movie. I think he was the one bright spot for me, was Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie. So I'm giving that, but otherwise I'm just not a fan of the movie. That's all.
He did do really good. Well, I mean,
he's always great.
Good.
He's great in every, even in fucking Big Lebowski in a comedy role. Like he was fucking amazing. Like I love the way he calls him dude. The way he says dude in that movie.
We lost an amazing soul there.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's awesome. Anyway, I'm sorry, Bill. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I've been ruining all your stuff tonight. I'm sorry.
No. I knew that you were good. I know your feelings on it, so I expected. I'm actually surprised that you hate it less now than.
No, I compared it to Twilight. I said I hate it less than Twilight.
Holy shit! Bill put on Big
I'm just saying that.
Wow. Bill, stop changing your eyewear.
And I'm
freaking
just
me out, man.
And like I said, I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad at it. I don't fully I hate it.
Supposed to point that out, man. It's supposed to be tripping everyone out.
We're tripping balls, man.
So all right, well, yeah, we need to keep going here. So anything else, Bill, about Talented Mr. Ripley?
Well, you know what it reminded me of? You're probably not gonna see the correlation because you like this director, but I thought that was kind of like a modern Hitchcock kind of.
I can see it trying to go that way.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
You know what though? I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but it made me think of something. In the book The Disaster Artist, which was about the making of The Room, there's an interesting story about Talented Mr. Ripley. When Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau, they hatched a plan to make a movie together, and Tommy Wiseau was like, I need to think of a movie to write. I don't know what movie to write. So they both went to go see Talented Mr. Ripley. All right. Then after that movie, Tommy Wiseau was inspired by something, and he says, I'm going to name the main character after the main actor in that movie. I'm going to, after that guy, Mark Damon. That's the reason why his name is Mark in The Room.
I'll be back.
It's because of Matt Damon.
Wow.
and Talented Mr. Ripley, and he thought his name was Mark Damon. So, sorry, but I keep disrailing things. So, anywho, anything else, Bill?
No, just I think it's an excellent movie. I think I'm gonna keep freaking Rob out as much as I possibly can.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, I think it's. I don't even know how to, like, the cinematography. It's a really beautiful movie. It's got like, you see like all these beautiful views of Italy and stuff, and I don't know. I enjoy it. Most of the times I've watched it was on VHS, but
All right.
So I'm probably gonna enjoy it even more next time I watch it on like a streaming service or something.
Alrighty.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we are on our number ones, so this ought to be good. Rob.
Oh man, oof. We have gone through a long journey here, people. But we've all bonded through our hatred of musicals and our love of Tom Hanks. My number one all-time film of the letter T is going to go stage left of everything. Wait, hold on. Stage left. Yeah, that way. Okay. So my movie is a 1988 film. It was directed by one of our favorite directors of all time, John Carpenter. It was written and directed by John Carpenter, and it was also written. It was helped. An individual named Ray Nelson helped write it, but it's based off of the short story by Ray Nelson called 8 O'Clock in the Morning. So this movie came out during the time of Big Trouble in Little China, The Fog, Escape from New York, back in the 80s when action and sci-fi / horror kind of melded together, you know. Stars Keith David, who was in who played Dr. Falsier in The Frog Prince, and Bolo in Final Space, which I don't know if you've ever watched that TV show. Has an amazing music by I think her name is Shelby Mary. Let me make sure here. Yeah, Shelby Mary. If you're listening to this, I love you. Please marry me. It also stars Meg Foster, who played Evelyn in Masters of the Universe, and she was also in Lords of Salem, and one of the all-time greatest wrestlers. A man who is just an iconic individual. The one, the only Rowdy Piper.
Nice.
I'm talking about 1988. They Live. So this was adapted from the movie, from the story. So the character Rowdy Piper plays is Nada. He's kind of a down on your luck construction worker. He finds this pair of shades, you know, kind of like the ones that Bill's wearing right now. Yes, Jason, I want that. You son of a bitch. I want that so bad. He finds this pair of special glasses, and when he puts them on, his Jason, stop. I swear to God, I'll come to your house and I will steal that from you.
This is kind of creepy because I can't see Jason.
Yeah, I can't see either.
You guys,
well, he's got the comic book version of what I'm talking about. It's amazing.
No, it's the DVD.
So,
it's a DVD.
You got the DVD. Okay, so he puts on these glasses and he sees all this subliminal advertising of obey, conform, stay awake, no imagination. And what is happening is he's realizing that the human species is being basically trained to be this subservient, you know, pet of these aliens who have taken over. And so these aliens are like in charge of this massive corporation to keep humans subdued into being just fat, lazy things, you know. It was budgeted when it was created. It was budgeted for about $4 million, and it grossed $13 million. So it made over 3 times its value.
Wow.
I'm going to go on about this because I love this movie so much. The line, I talked about this before we started. I talked about this line, I've come to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That line has been used in Duke Nukem video games. It has been parodied by multiple people. But what's ironic about that line is that Rowdy Piper wanted to use that as his tagline when he was wrestling. And he had this little the little notebook of things that, you know, he written down during his wrestling career. And he approached Carpenter. He's like, look, I really want to use this. I've wanted to use this throughout my entire career. Nobody's liked it. And John Carpenter's like, fucking do it. So that one scene where he's in the bank and he's like, I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That's his iconic, you know, just, it's beautiful the way John Carpenter and Rowdy Piper worked that in the movie. Another fun fact about this, Jason, you talked about The Thing. So Keith David was in The Thing,
Yep.
Right? So John Carpenter was like, look, he was talking to his crew. He was talking to his crew and his writing crew. He's like, look, I really need a really good sidekick character. I need some guy like who's just going to be the opposite of our hero. And after he was working with David in his performance in The Thing, he's like, dude, you would be the most traditional kick-ass sidekick that owns his shit. And I want you in this movie. And David's like, cool. All right, let's do this. And if you watch the movie and you see the chemistry between Piper and between David, it is almost like a sidekick buddy film. You know, it's so damn beautiful. I got three more interesting facts here. One, which is kind of I talked about with Jason, but so Carpenter was one of the original individuals to bring homeless folks into the movie as characters, as side characters, as crew members, and he would pay them as well as give them food. When this was done, this was original throughout the time of, you know, these movies back in the 80s. There was a conversation between Piper and between Carpenter, and he's like, dude, I never thought about this. This is amazing, you know. You're one of the individuals, you're one of the directors who does this, and it's amazing for you to do this. Robin Williams, throughout a lot of his movies, would demand that homeless people be brought in as crew members to give them a second chance on life, you know, to give them skills so that they would no longer become homeless. So I thought that was amazing. The character himself, played by Piper, was called Nada. And if you watch out the entire movie, not once did Rowdy Piper give his name out to anybody. And it was kind of a homage to the original character in 8 o'clock in the morning, George Nada. That was the character's name, and Piper not once said his name. So he's like, you know what? We're just going to go through this at the entire movie. And in the credits, his character's name was Nada. And the amazing thing about this, I talked about it with Jason, talked about it with Pete. I'm going to bring up a board game studio here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not heard of a company, it's called Iconic Studios. In Iconic Studios, if you're watching, please listen to this very carefully here. They just kickstarted not too long ago, before COVID and all that nightmare with COVID. We all know how much of a disaster COVID has been to us. They kickstarted a board game called They Live Assault on Cable 54. On Cable 54. Last time I spoke, I checked on the updates. They said that as of January 11th, they were working on quality control. But I spoke with them earlier today. I spoke with Iconic Studios, and they said that they are in the process of getting the logistics set out for the board game to be sent out to everybody worldwide.
Awesome.
It's an amazing. Jason, I'll speak with Jason earlier. Jason kickstarted this as well. This is going to take place in the universe of They Live, and it's going to be in the cable studio of the movie. So we're going to be, you know, people who have kickstarted this, you'll be able to play with the glasses, and you're going to see, you know, from the viewpoint of Rowdy Piper's character, you know, Nada. So I am super stoked. I can't tell you just how excited I am for this. This is like, I've kickstarted a lot of shit, and this is one of the all-time kickstarts I am waiting for. I have been waiting for. So Iconic Studios, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, make it happen. I'm waiting for my copy of They Live Assault on Cable 54. And I hope for some extra t-shirts, because, you know, it's a good show. It's a good board game. So yeah, my all-time number one, They Live, 1988, directed by John Carpenter.
Yes, great movie. I also cannot wait for the board game as well.
It
looks fun. It looks really fun.
And we agree, Jason. We agreed to talk about this on Cinegate.
We do, yeah. Once we get it played, absolutely, we will be talking about it. So, all right, Pete, number one.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. Let me get my little special guest here for a sec. Hey, Ted, come here for a minute. Hey.
You see an ear. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I've seen so many horror movies that begin that way.
Honey, how about a beer? Dostoevsky's? Come here, you bastard.
There you go. So anyways, that's my number one. Good old Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. did a great R-rated stoner flick. And I say stoner flick because if you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a great damn comedy. And for Mark Wahlberg to be in a stoner flick, that's what made it even funnier. But Mila Kunis, who's been in the stoner type of shows, that 70s show, was also in the thing, which made it funny. But we talked about, now I'm going to say this real quick before I even get to the movie. One actress that we mentioned earlier that's popular for not just movies, but video games, cartoons. Who am I talking about? We mentioned her earlier.
Tara Strong?
Yes. When Ted says, I love you, do you know who that is? That's her. That's a fact.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to say that. So anyways, the movie basically is about Mark Wahlberg's character, but when he was a kid, though, and he wished his teddy bear to come to life. One of the funniest parts of the movie was actually at part 2 when the teddy bear actually came to life after it, and the parents, the reaction to it was priceless. And it goes on from there when he's grown up now, they're growing up, and Ted has become a stoner. And so, and that whole shit is just fucking phenomenally funny. And it goes on from there. You got Mark Wahlberg. Like I said, you see him in all kinds of shit. And you rarely ever see him in a really funny-ass comedy before then. I'm saying before Ted. Like, he was always doing some serious shit. He comes out as his, the kid growing up, all stonerized himself. Fucking funny as hell. And it's narrated by Patrick Stewart, which is funny as hell, because you usually see Patrick Stewart before he was doing not Family Guy, American Dad. Before he started doing American Dad and stuff and everything and all that, you'd see him in serious roles and stuff. And for him to be goofing off and stuff and everything in there is hilarious. You got Patrick Warburton that's usually in Family Guy in there too with them. You got a whole bunch. Giovanni Ribisi, who's also usually always serious, plays a very funny as hell stalker. You see him dancing at Tiffany's. I think we were alone.
Shit.
Yeah. You got the Flash Gordon, the actor in there, and the villain. You got the a bunch of people. Yeah, you got a bunch of shit that goes on here. It's the funniest stoner comedy you can think of. And I mean, Half Baked was funny as hell, but you watch this shit and you fucking laugh way all the way through. And the part 2, I'm only mentioning part 2. One of the funniest things from a serious actor was Liam Neeson with the cereal.
Yeah, that was good.
That was the funniest thing. But anyways, I highly recommend this. I tried to hurry up because we're usually not this long. We're almost going on 11 o'clock here in Chicago.
Wow.
Over there, it's almost midnight. So, so yeah.
We've been on for a while. We have.
That was number 1 for me, Ted.
Okay. My number 1, I mentioned it when we did our top 5 favorite anthology movies, and I had to do it here because this is also one of my favorite movies, and that's going to be Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
I really fucking love this movie. I mean, oh my god. In case anyone didn't listen to the anthology show, A, fuck you. B, please do. It's a fun show. And C,
fuck you, please do.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Listen to our show. No, okay. It's an anthology movie. It's a movie that features several little stories. Here, they all take place on the same night, on Halloween. And it focuses on different people in this small town. And there's a guy who's a serial killer. He kills a kid and he's trying to bury the body in his backyard, but his neighbor keeps interrupting him. So there's that story. We got Anna Paquin, who's with a bunch of friends, and they keep talking about this thing where it makes it look like she's trying to lose her virginity. but then she ends up being a werewolf. And so she kills somebody for the first time. There's story about these kids who prank another kid to go down to the shores of this beach where like years and years ago this bus driver sent this bus of how do I politely say this, not mentally well kids off this cliff into the waters, and so the kids prank this other girl to go down there, and they pretend to be the ghosts of those kids, but ends up being a prank. But then the joke's on them, because then the actual ghosts, zombies, whatever of those kids, of the special needs kids, start attacking them. And then the favorite one, the best one's the last one, featuring Sam Hine chasing around Brian Cox in his house. And yes. That is probably like the best story out of the whole movie, and it's the last one. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. Great scares, good horror. I fucking love it. I'm pretty sure I made it my number one anthology movie, so it had to be my number one favorite T movie as well. I really love it. So there you go. Number one is good Trick movie. Or Treat. All right, Bill.
You guys got me thinking when Pete when you took the Ted out. And Jason was saying how so many horror movies start that way. It got me thinking about this episode of Supernatural with there's a talking teddy bear, and it's Bobcat Goldthwait's voice.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Oh wow!
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. Jason shaking his head, but we're all like,
yeah, I've not seen that episode, so that's why I don't know what you mean, but that's cool.
Yeah, this made me think of that though. If you'll watch it eventually, or I'll
you
show
ever see the one with the show with him with the character like that? That had she's a well-known actress that was hot too. I can't think of her name right now. There was an old it was a rip of Bundy. Married with Children was making fun of pretty much, and they had like a talking doll or whatever like that thing, and it had Bobcat Goldthwait.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That Creep Show?
No, it was Unhappily Ever After.
Oh yeah, it was a WB show.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now.
It was a lot like
it was.
Except it had that sock puppet or whatever he was.
Yeah, it was hilarious though.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I bought. No, I'm just kidding. Like, Bobcat did it first. No.
So all right. Anywho, Bill, what's your number one? Minigate.
My number one is, let me look at my notes. This is my notes, by the way.
Wow.
Okay, this is a tie. Surprise. It's part of a series of one you mentioned earlier, Pete. The first one I'm gonna say. But it's the only one, ironically, I've seen of the series so far. But I absolutely loved it. I was blown away by this. I'm talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that was great too. Yeah. I almost did a tie with all of them. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Go on.
I need to see the other ones still. I probably agree. I was won over immediately by the they had the Led Zeppelin playing with the battle going on. It was just, they've always been like my favorite bands. So to see that was just that won me over immediately. and then it's such a funny movie. Like I don't know if I just miss it, but like I don't always see the humor in the Marvel movies that everyone's talking about. But that one was just really hysterical. Especially Hawk.
And Korg. Hulk and Korg.
Oh yeah, the Korg. Yeah, Korg guy.
His sidekick character. Yep.
Yeah. There's not much else to say about the battles in the when they're doing the battles, fighting each other in the, I guess the ring you'd call it, but it wasn't a ring really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Moscow. Yeah. I mean, not Moscow.
Kind of like the old
Coliseum.
Arena.
Yeah, like a Coliseum type thing. That's it. Yeah, just a really. Oh, and what's his name? Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. He's great in the movie.
The Grandmaster.
I didn't expect him to be there. That was funny.
Welcome to Priceline.com.
Right.
Okay, what's your second movie?
My second one it's a movie you mentioned earlier.
Oh.
Is this the first? I think in this episode it's gonna be the first one that two people had.
Crossover? Right? Yeah.
I think so.
Well, it would be. Let me hear what it is.
Time Crime.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, you were correct when you said I really got into it when you showed it to me. I recommend everyone go see it immediately.
Yes.
It's hard to talk about it. Like you said, you said enough already to where you can't say much more about it because
I stopped at an important plot thing, and then I didn't want to reveal the rest. Yeah,
but it's really cool. It does have a really cool twist. Yep. If you like time travel movies, you'll really like. It's not like, I don't know how to say it without. It's because it's in another language. It might seem like it's not good acting because of the way it's translated over.
Yeah.
Did you feel?
I mean, see, the thing is, we're watching a subtitled version, and sometimes stuff kind of gets lost in translation. So, it might not have been like exactly what they said. So their facial features or body movement might not necessarily match up with what's being said on the screen. So it kind of comes off as kind of strange. That's just kind of the downfall of watching a subtitled movie, but it's fine. I'm willing to get over that. It's not a big deal for me.
I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Some people, but other than that, I mean, and I wouldn't even consider that a downfall.
Yeah. No, it's not even a big deal to me. So,
it wasn't like martial arts from the 70s.
No, it's not.
I will.
No,
beat you up now. It wasn't like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
that is such a good movie though. Like I think, I don't think you mentioned the music of it. That was something that got me into it too.
Man,
even though
I hate to draw this out because it's going on midnight, but okay, I'll say this really I'll say this really quickly. Then we got to start wrapping up. I'm very strange when it comes to music in movies in that I don't really notice it. And I acknowledge that's a me problem. That's just me. I know people do notice it. I know there's a lot of great music that's done in movies. But like a great example I can point out was after I saw The Social Network, people went on and on about how great the music was. and I just did not notice it. And it was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and I know they're great, talented musicians, but I just did not notice the music, and I tend to do that with a lot of movies. For some reason, I just don't ever think about it or notice it or point it out. But again, that's just me, so I just wanted to quickly say that. So,
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, you were right about the seeming like the hot tub time thing.
It was like a hot tub.
I just wish Chevy Chase would have been in it. That would have been the one thing making it better.
All right.
All
right, let's go ahead and end this thing. So we're gonna really quickly recap our 5, then we'll end the show. So Rob, go ahead and do your 5.
All right, my number 5 is Time Bandits. My number 4 is Treasure Planet. My number 3 is Toys. My number 2, Top Secret. And my number 1 letter T movie of all time is They Live.
All right, Pete.
Nice.
All right, number 5, There's Something About Mary. Number 4, 13 Ghosts. Number 3, Thor. Number 2, Terminator. Number 1, Ted.
Okay. All right. Pete understood the assignment. All right.
Thank you.
My number 5 was They Might Be Giants and The Trouble with Harry. Number 4 is 10 Little Indians, the 1965 version. Number 3 is Triangle and The Thing. Number 2 is Time Crimes and The Time Machine from 1960. And my number 1 is Trick or Treat. Bill.
Nice. Excellent picks, guys. My number 5 is TMNT, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. Number 4, tie between Top Gun and Titanic. Number 3, Twilight, Breaking Dawn, Part 2. Number 2, That Thing You Do, tied with the talented Mr. Ripley. And number 1, Thor Ragnarok, tied with Time Crimes.
All right. Hey, if you enjoyed this show, you should go check out rabbitholepodcast.com. That is where all other episodes are. We are also on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, a lot of different podcasting apps and websites. You can go check us out there. As for Rabbit Hole Podcasts themselves, like I said, rabbitholepodcast.com, and we are on Twitter at RabbitHP. That's gonna do it for this episode. To everyone listening, sorry this is kind of long, but you know what, we were having fun. This was a different vibe because we were on Twitch, and so it went a little long. So I do apologize, but we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. As always, we had fun. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you all very, 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 very much. Bill looks like he's got something to say. So
thank you. Sorry.
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Say 2 real quick things. 1, I did something really cool. You guys will be proud of me. Last week, I downloaded the Run Pete app.
Ooh.
Yes.
I haven't used it yet because I don't remember the last time I stepped into a movie theater. But when I do, I will be using it. And another thing, I thought I'd point out, this was our 23rd episode, the Letter T movies, and this is our 7th video.
And we got 4 episodes left.
And our first live.
First live, yes, absolutely.
Did you say 4 left?
4 left.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
For this season.
RSTUVWXY. And we got 6 left. Unless I misunderstand my alphabet.
UVW. Yeah, 6. Never mind. I lost my count. I'm tired.
That's all right.
It's been
it's all good, you guys. All right, hey everyone, have a good night, have a good week, and we will catch you in 2 weeks. Adios.
See you all later.